matriarch tribes and tribal nations of the land, Turtle Island. Now, without further ado, with Her Royal Imperial Majesty, Emperor Chakra Redbird Ningrat.
Love and light, everyone. This is no surprise that we are actually coming before you today to do the affidavit of truth and the affidavit as a peaceful transition. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring on Her Majesty Lady Dancing Sun so that we can get started. And then afterwards, we will go into the reason why after the reading of the affidavit of truth. Love and light. Okay, so give me a second here. If you would please spotlight Lady Dancing Sun. Thank you.
I am.
There we are. And if you would give me a second, I also need to okay. There we are. You may begin. Is this
Ashe. Affidavit of truth and notice of peaceful transition. Public announcement of the oral tradition, May 4th, 2026, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The affidavit of truth and notice of peaceful transition reads thuswise. The people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation Pure Trust Foundation and the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation Sovereign State and its Indian territories, Ani Yunwiya Shalagi, are the autochthonous sentient beings, Indians, who are the indigenous matriarchs for Turtle Island. As a matriarchal, pre-colonial, indigenous matrilineal government, we are now operating as the United Nations Matriarchal Tribal Assembly for Turtle Island. Our mission is to unite all matriarchal tribal indigenous nations for Turtle Island to reassemble to preserve our heritage and governance. 1. Opening Declaration.
I, Her Royal Imperial Majesty Chakra Redbird Ningrat, formerly known as Sharon Wilson, now known as Her Royal Imperial Majesty Empress Chakra Redbird Ningrat, will hereafter be referred to as Her Royal Imperial Majesty, Head of State, and acting as a matriarchal sovereign for Turtle Island with the full blood right and as the senior national and exchanger with the banking redemption seal for the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation Pure Trust Foundation, hereby present this affidavit of truth, notice of peaceful transition. As the allodial title holder, dated May 1st, 1540, special deed of trust and trust certificate holder for the Shalagi Cherokee Nation Sovereign State and its Indian territories, hereafter referred to as TCN, I submit this notice in peace, dignity, and clarity to formalize the reactivation of the seat of the matrilineal government operating within the foundation under the sovereign state certificate called Shalagi Cherokee Nation Sovereign State for Turtle Island.
This document is not a lawsuit, not a complaint, not a petition for adjudication, not an invocation of adversarial jurisdiction. It is a sovereign communication, a ceremonial declaration, and a peaceful notice to the United States of America, and all associated agencies and agents, as well as the United States Court of Federal Claims for record keeping and transparency.
I come not in conflict, but in truth, continuity. Excuse me. Could you please, Lady Dancing Sun? I did a blank. Continuity and peaceful restoration. Thank you.
Ashe. 2. Jurisdictional clarification, non-adversarial. This affidavit does not seek the following, except for items reserved for a later date and time upon after being read into the public domain by keeping our oral tradition. This affidavit does not seek judgment, remedy, damages reserved for a later date and time, intervention, enforcement reserved for after the oral tradition reading, litigation, adversarial engagement.
I do not invoke the court's adversarial jurisdiction.
This notice is provided solely for the purpose of transparency, historical continuity, and peaceful acknowledgement of the TCN readiness to resume its matriarchal governance, which predates the formation of the United States and United States of America et al. This affidavit is placed on record without opening a case. 3. Statement of truth. 1. The sovereign nations is an ancient, matriarchal, pre-colonial, indigenous sovereign nation whose governance, lineage, and identity have never been extinguished. 2. Sovereign nations' sovereignty is rooted in divine law, natural law, universal law, and ancestral continuity, not in permissions granted by external governments. 3. The matrilineal blood right, the original governing structure of the sovereign nations, remains intact and is now ready to resume its rightful place in peaceful governance.
I, 4. I, Her Imperial Majesty, Chakra, Rare Bird Niggard, am recognized by the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation, sovereign state, and its Indian territories through lineage, ceremony, and sovereign affirmation.
5. This affidavit is a declaration of truth, identity, continuity, and peaceful intent. 4. Notice of peaceful transition. This notice affirms that TCN is prepared to resume our self-governing matriarchal government in alignment with ancestral law and peaceful existence unencumbered. This transition is peaceful, non-adversarial, and non-disruptive. TCN seeks no conflict, no confrontation, and no adversarial engagement with the United States or any of its agencies or agents. TCN seeks only recognition of its internal governance, non-interference, and mutual respect. The United States and United States of America et al. Are respectfully notified that the TCN is resuming its internal governance in peace without interference. This notice does not require permission. It simply declares truth and affirms a peaceful transition. 5. Notice to the United States of America, and all agencies and agents. This notice is provided for transparency, for peaceful transition, for acknowledgement of internal governance, for historical and ceremonial continuity. It is not a demand, not a claim, and not legal action. 6. Notice of attachments.
Under the penalty of perjury, under divine, universal, and natural law, I affirm under divine, universal, and natural law that the following documents are true, adequate, to the best of my knowledge, and attached or incorporated as expression of identity, lineage, and sovereign continuity.
1. Declaration of trust for the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation, Pure Trust Foundation, in fidelity with the First Republic Registrar located in London. 2. Corpus of the Trust. 3. Notarized Statement of Case / Affidavit of the Matriarchal Pure Blood Right Statement. 4. This affidavit of truth plus notice of peaceful transition. These attachments are provided not for adjudication, but for identity, heritage, transparency, and ceremonial records, and should be kept private for notice purposes only. Affidavit of Truth. Affiant. Her Royal Imperial Majesty, a sovereign on the land of Turtle Island of the TCN, ceremonial matriarchal sovereign authority of Turtle Island jurisdiction.
I, Her Royal Imperial Majesty, being of sound mind, full capacity, and rightful matriarchal authority, do hereby affirm, declare, and attest the following to be true, correct, and complete to the best of my knowledge, memory, lineage, and lived experience. 1. That I am the living matriarchal successor to the ancestral governance of the TCN, restored through peaceful ceremonial means, lawful notice, and ancestral blood right. 2. That my authority arise from lineage or tradition, natural law, and the inherent sovereignty of indigenous sovereign nations predating the United States. 3. That I stand as the rightful sovereign of the TCN, entrusted with the restoration of matriarchal governance, peaceful transition, and lawful sovereign nation to sovereign nation relations. 4. that the harm done through the grandfather's clause, causing displacements and disruptions inflicted upon the Shalagi Cherokee and the Lenni Lenape peoples, are historically documented, materially evident, and spiritually acknowledged. 5, that this affidavit is issued in peace, clarity, and lawful standing, without hostility, threat, or adversarial posture towards any entity, government, or person. 6, that all statements herein are made under the penalty of perjury, under divine, natural, and universal law, and the sovereign authority vested in me.
Affian affirms,
These truths stand as my living declaration.
Notice of Peaceful Transition. This notice serves as a formal declaration of peaceful transition into restored matriarchal governance of the TCN and affiliated tribal confederacy. 1. Purpose: to notify all relevant parties that the TCN is undergoing a peaceful, ceremonial, and administrative restoration of its rightful governance structure. 2. Nature of transition: non-adversarial, non-violent, non-litigious, rooted in diplomacy and lawful notice. Scope: 3. Restoration of matriarchal leadership, reaffirmation of indigenous sovereignty, reestablishment of ceremonial governance protocols. 4. Intent: to harmonize relations, to clarify jurisdictional standing, to ensure peaceful transition with the United States of America and United States et al. And all other entities. 5. Effectiveness: this notice becomes effective upon issuance and remains in force until superseded by formal treaty level recognition or mutual diplomatic agreement. Closing Declaration for Sovereign Nation State.
In full standing as a living being of inherent sovereignty, I bring this affidavit of truth to its rightful close. These words are offered with clarity, honor, and the unbroken dignity of my voice. They arise from my own knowledge, my own experience, and my own conscious intent.
Let it be known that truth is the foundation upon which all just relations stand. Let it be recognized that integrity is the shield of the sovereign, and that clarity is the path by which understanding is reached. May these declarations be received in fairness, weighed in good faith, and regarded in the same spirit of peace and respect in which they are given.
I affirm that no force compels these words, and no confusion clouds them. They stand as a testament to my responsibility, my accountability, and my unwavering commitment to truth.
May this closing carry the strength of a sovereign people, the steadiness of a clear mind, and the calm authority of one who speaks from a place of honor, with a steady heart and a sovereign spirit.
I seal this affidavit in truth, in dignity, and in peace.
7. Closing declaration.
I affirm that this affidavit is true to the best of my knowledge. This notice is peaceful, sovereign, and non-adversarial. The Shalagi Cherokee Nation resumes its matriarchal governance in dignity and truth. The United States of America, and its agents and agencies are respectfully notified of this peaceful transition. No harm, conflict, or adversarial engagement is intended or implied.
This affidavit stands as a ceremonial and sovereign declaration of truth. Closing acknowledgement for the affidavit of truth.
In the presence of truth, I offer these closing words with clarity and resolve. May this affidavit stand firm upon the foundation of honesty, integrity, and unbroken dignity of my voice.
May
Okay. Go ahead.
May every statement herein be guided by the light of understanding, the steadiness of reason, and the sovereignty of a clear conscience.
May truth move through these words as a steady river, unclouded and unwavering.
May fairness attend to all who read them, and may wisdom accompany all who weigh them. May this declaration be received in the spirit of peace, respect, and good faith in which it is given.
I affirm that my intent is honorable, my purpose sincere, and my commitment to truth unshaken. May these words contribute to clarity, restore balance where needed, and strengthen the path towards just and equitable understanding. With a steady heart, a disciplined mind, and a sovereign spirit, I seal this affidavit in truth, in dignity, and in peace. And I attest as the matriarch sovereign on the land of Turtle Island, Shalagi Cherokee Nation State, as of May the 4th, 2026, that it is so, and so it is written.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
So now we will hear from the managing directors for the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation Pure Trust Foundation, and then followed by the trustees, and then followed by the council, if they wish to have any closing statements. And I will acknowledge Her Excellency Christina.
Greetings of peace and beautiful light. I honor myself as God, in myself as I honor the gods within all of our beautiful matriarchs across the land. I would like to say a few words in peace, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have gathered here tonight to witness the activation of the oral tradition, a frequency of truth that has remained unbroken through time. As the words of Her Imperial Majesty, Shaka Rare Bird Nigret, and Lady Dancing Sun, matriarchal sovereigns on the land of Turtle Island, for the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation sovereign state resonates across the ethers. They serve as a beacon of our peaceful restoration. And I say that again, as our peaceful restoration for our matriarchs. We stand now in the light of H.R.I.M so far, aligning our governance and with high vibrational frequency of the divine law, the universal law that all governs ourselves within and throughout. Let it be known that this transition is not merely an administrative shift, but a quantum realignment of our heritage and our future. We have served notice. We have spoken the truth. As we close with this live broadcast, we seal this declaration in peace, dignity, and the unwavering strength of the United Nations Matriarchal Tribal Assembly for Turtle Island, uniting all matriarchal tribal indigenous nations for Turtle Island to reassemble and preserve our heritage and governance. The river of truth now flows and forever will flow, and the restoration is complete as our primordial waters have now opened up and will forever be. And I yield. Much obliged, Ashe.
Ashe. Well spoken, the spirit of truth. And it shall be so. So it is. Her
Ashe.
Excellency Valahau.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Love and light.
Love and light.
Tonight. Ashe. Tonight, the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation sovereign state have performed a sacred and formal act of transparency by reading the AFFIDAVIT into the public domain. We have fulfilled the requirements of our oral tradition and provided clear, peaceful notice of our transition to restore matrilineal governance. Our intent is clear. We seek no conflict, only the recognition of our internal sovereignty and the freedom to govern our people in alignment with ancestral law. As managing director of the trust, we affirm that every word spoken tonight is now a matter of record, etched in the archives of Turtle Island and the consciousness of the global community. We move forward in peace, unencumbered and resolute. Thank you for standing in witness to our truth. The breath of the ancestors has been given voice tonight. Through this public announcement, the Shalagi Cherokee Nation has reestablished its seat of government in the presence of the world. We are the living testimony of a lineage that has never been extinguished. As these remarks come to a close, we harmonize our collective frequency with the human resonance of the earth, Turtle Island itself, grounding this peaceful transition into the here and now. The notice is served. The truth is standing. We remain in full honor, in full sovereignty, and in absolute peace. And so it is. Ashe.
Ashe. Her Excellency Divine Feminine Freedom.
Love and light to all. The God in me sees, honor, recognize the God in each and every one of you all today. The affidavit of truth have been read. So it is so. My dear sisters have spoken. My dear mom has spoken. Her successor has spoken. It is so. We will walk in pure love. We will walk in truth. We will walk in honor. And we will serve with dignity. And we will all gather in harmony. And so it is. And so it shall always be. Ashe.
Ashe. Now we will hear from our trustees, which will be Bending Bamboo and Brown Bear and Michael at this time. Okay.
This is Brother Michael, love and light to everyone, love and light to the world, love and light to humanity. This is a quantum shift, the reading of this affidavit and putting everyone on notice. This is a new beginning, for humanity and for the world. Everything was clearly stated, and so it is, and so it is. I yield.
Stay. His Excellency Bending Bamboo.
Love and light family, honor to God and myself as I honor God and everyone on the platform and everyone within the earth. I'm so humbly grateful for this opportunity in this lifetime to be present as the reading of the truthful affidavit has been shared through Her Imperial Majesty Redbird, through Her Majesty Lady Dancing Son, and to Her Excellencies Lady Violet Hawk and Christina and all the matriarch. I'm here in the direct alignment with the matriarch. The truth, affidavit of truth, has really shaken in my spirit that there's a new earth upon ourselves as we speak now. I'm so grateful to be here, to be amongst the matriarch, to serve within the matriarch, and to put on notice that the true governance of the earth has been restored. And I stay in true alignment here as a trustee, truly humbled and honored. And I'm just so grateful to be amongst everyone here. So with that said, I did make sure I could share everything that I could possibly pull from my heart. And again, I stay in true alignment. And with that, I yield.
Ashe. Now is Brown Bear available?
Can you start your video, Brother Brown Bear, so I can bring you up? We will come back to him.
Okay.
Love and light.
There he is.
Just pull it over.
Okay. Thank you.
This love and light family, just giving all thanks and praises. This is just truly a magnificent time, and truly honored to be present when the restoration and the reclamation and just the restoring of our humanity and our dignity and just our presence on the land. And so just truly thankful and just giving thanks and praises and appreciative of the matriarchs, and glad that the matriarchs are back on the land and that we can go ahead and continue to thrive now because we got mother love, and that's just a beautiful thing. I yield.
Thank you.
Ashe.
Now we will hear from the council. Lady Dancing Sun and Carbon Star and Mother Gilda, Mother Empress Ottawa. I think do we have everybody? Okay. If you would, Lady Dancing Son and Bridget.
Ashe, Ashe, I am humbled and honored and grateful to be in divine alignment with divine order as it has already been established in eternity, manifesting in time through the service work of the people of the Shalagi Cherokee Nation State Pure Trust Foundation. I'm going to yield to my council members, as I've already stated, in spirit and in truth, the heart of the work that we're doing tonight. Ashe, I yield.
Ashe.
Ashe. I've already spoken. I'm just honored to be in the presence of all mighty mitochondria as we have symbolically restored the law of the universe, universal law, to the matrilineal. And I'm grateful to be with each and every one of you and be a part of this historical event as we have restored our the law. And I yield.
Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. Love and light, everyone. I honor myself as I honor the God in each and every one of you all. This is just such a great divine work that we are doing, and I'm just truly excited. I'm grateful as we're just moving in the right spirit, just going forth, doing the work, just getting things back in order. Everything needs to be back in order, and we're doing it with the right spirit, with truth, and just moving in peace and love. And so it's just a great time for us to collectively come together and just do what's needed for the nation and for the people. Love and light.
Love and light.
I honor the God within me as I honor the God within each and every spirit, each and every soul, each and every person. This is truly eventful living in this space, in this time. The affidavit of truth has been established in the spirit, as was said, but in real time, we as matriarchs get to experience the truth in spirit. And it's just wonderful. It's marvelous in our eyes, in our spirit, in the humanity spirit, in the spirit of each individual of the spirit of truth, established now in this now moment. Such living has to be divine. And I yield.
Thank you, Mother Gilda. Love and light to you.
Love and light.
Family. The God within me honors the God within you all. In this now moment, historical moment, not only on this earth, but in the heavens, we rejoice at the peace and the love that this nation has brought as a family, riding the wave of creation, literally riding. And I want to sing. Kadosh, 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 Shalom, 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 establishing peace, love, and harmony within this earth realm, bringing heaven to earth for Shilagi Nation, state, and its people. Through our divine imperial majesty, Chakra Rabird Nigre, Sharon Wilson, and her emperor Osiris, are examples in walking in love and peace for the people and the next 7 generations to come of the children, our inheritance. I sing Hallelujah. 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 We be free in this great jubilee. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Love and light, family.
Love and light. Thank you. And now we will hear from our emperor at this time.
We're unable to hear.
Okay, hold on one second. And before he speaks, Lady Dancing Sun had her hand up because I know she's on the time schedule. So if you could hold your thought and here, hold that. And Lady Dancing Sun, if you would.
Ashe, our dear beloved elder mother, Empress Ottawa, expressed from her heart and her soul in the depths of her spirit exactly the reverence that I desire to acknowledge for the presence of divinity in Her Royal Imperial Majesty, yourself. And I know that your Emperor Osiris will also do the just service and honor to your divinity as well. What you are about to share with us, the why of this, it's the essence of what we've been experiencing today in real time.
Yeah.
All the need for restoration, the need for justice, the need for wholeness, the need for peace, the need for love is because of all the suffering of the injustice,
Yeah.
the division, the war, the hatred, the strife, and really feeling the work of restoration come through our beings, come through our human experience today. It was profound and deep, and that's just scratching the surface because this goes back to the beginning of time. And so gratitude for your divine purpose, gratitude for your willingness and discernment and obedience to your purpose work, to endure within your being the disorder and the disharmony within you, feel it and embrace it so that you can bring divine order to it.
Yeah.
That role, that experience is to be honored.
Thank you.
And we honor it as the people of the Shilagi Cherokee Nation state. We honor your office as head of state. We honor your spirit as Her Royal Imperial Majesty of the people. And we honor your commitment and your diligence to the service work and your tireless self-service. We honor. I thank you. I thank the people for allowing me and having me read into the public record the affidavit of truth and the notice of peaceful transition. It's truly been an honor. I'm grateful. And I yield to you. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Ashe. I want to say before the emperor speak to you directly in your presence, Her Majesty. You've been with me since the beginning of time. I didn't know exactly where the spirit was going to lead you and I, or even connect even after we first met on the water. And to have that great reveal, because I've always in my spirit knew that you were beyond something special, not only to me, but what you mean to the world. And the fact of the matter is that Her Majesty, it is with great pleasure to know that once my office is transitioned on into the back burner of things, that I have no doubt in my mind that you are rooted in the spirit of love and truth, and that the legacy of a government will be short-lived, particularly after me, that your work in your office has already begun, whether you have noticed it or not. My hope and my desire for you is to be that bird that flies freely in the sky, and that you lead everyone with the love and the compassion that you always exhibit even before now, that you are the greatest successor that will probably ever be on this earth. That you be who you are, because who you are is love and peace. And you haven't wavered from that. And you've anchored me, whether you realize it or not, and you've taught me a lot about how to be a better me. And I'm grateful to have you and handing things to you. And I don't have a worry. I used to worry about who was going to carry this thing to the next level. But I don't worry about that anymore, because I know it's you. It's you, my friend, my sister, my mother, my aunt, my niece. You're all of that. And I'm so grateful. And that's the reason why I have you reading everything, because I need you to feel your office. Be what you already are doing, is being Her Majesty, Lady Dancing Sun. So with that, I'm grateful. When your time comes next year, and everybody take note, around this time next year, she would take her office, her own divine office, as she names her office. Because my office is my office, and now your office will be your office. And it's going to be a pleasure watching you grow, and anything that I can do to help you along your path, you know I'm just a look away. Much love and light to you, and I appreciate you.
Ashe, much love and light.
Now, without further ado, I have here my emperor, who has sit and stood by me in sickness and in health, and as my guardian angel, as my protector. And he is definitely a protector of love and peace and harmony. And I appreciate who he is and who he has revealed himself to be, not only to myself, but to this nation and its people. So without further ado, I bring forth the emperor, and then after that, we will go into the why of the peaceful transition. Emperor? Yes. You have to speak up. Okay. Let's do this. It has it on there. I don't know why. Can you hear me? Okay, so that means you just need to speak a little louder. Okay. No, I don't want you to do that. Give me a second here. Okay.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Awesome. I would just like to start out with Owadudu,
L-I-do-do.
and that's to say that we all come in love. El Salamu, we come in peace. And El Noru, we are the great light within ourselves that we seek and that we look for within ourselves. Come forth with your purpose work. I will speak to all matriarchs across the world, is that without y'all, we would not be here. No man would touch forth his feet on this earth except by way of a matriarch. I speak for every man that's on this planet, that every man stand up, and now that we protect all stargates. When I say stargates, I mean the vagina, because that's the only way the ancestors return is through the matriarchs. So now we need to put forth a protection around all of our matriarchs and our children, and come forth with a great love and acknowledgement that we protect them with our lives. For as now we do come in peace. So El Salamu, and I do come in love. El Wadudu. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
I say, thank you. All right. So, as you notice, I did not have on my wapoon tonight, but don't think I don't have it. A wapoon doesn't, it just marks, you know, the matriarch, and I do have it. It's just in another room, but that doesn't take away from who I am. I'm sitting in my sacerdotal seat, and the work is where it is for me. It's not about having the, you know, all the ritualistic things that most people pride themselves on, to have all of that. It's a time and a space. I just want tonight to be a relaxed environment where we understand and understand the reason why we are heading to Philadelphia to end where it started, and why of it. And that's what I'm getting ready to go into now, in our second half of my presence here. And I think that maybe Lady Dancing Son had to step away. So I wanted to make sure that we did the reading first to get that in so that I could really take the time to explain to everyone in full detail as the reason why we have to go back to Philadelphia this weekend to end the government that was created that shouldn't have been created. So if you give me a second and let me pull it up on my screen, I'm going to go through the timeline. So you can see, it's one thing to hear people tell us bits and pieces of that government that was created in Philadelphia that then moved to Washington, D.C., that was carved out of the our land. And it was the matriarch, the melanated, nappy head matriarch that had a allodial title to this land. And that's why I have been entrusted to make sure that all the allodial title holders of this land called Turtle Island. Now, I want to explain something to everyone before I share my screen. So you can get a full understanding about the name Turtle Island and how it got to be the United States of America, and now U.S. and all the different assemblies of the name. And I will say that in detail, but I want to tell you in by way that this happened so that you'll understand something. When you name something, then you can claim it. You can claim the name. And they renamed Turtle Island, all these other names, North America, and all the American names in the U.S., the United States, the USA, all of those assemblies of those names, they claimed. And they created it and they put it in the patent office. They flipped the map. They didn't create anything. They just flipped the maps, y'all. So to make it theirs. So anything that they flip and name is theirs. But at the end of the day, they could not ever claim the land. They just attached a map that was flipped to the name and claimed it. And that's the biggest trick that has been played upon the land and its people. Now, all the wars that you all are seeing and experiencing, I'm shielded from the news. So I just hear bits and pieces of the news because I don't want us to be ran by what is being said or not said and things going on behind the scene and the illusion of what is going on. So I don't get involved in the news. But what I can tell you from the spirit news is that these are corporate states fighting. They are not us. They are the corporation that came on this land and other lands and renamed it. And so when you hear the fight of the war of Iran, well, Iran is a corporate name. It is a war between corporations, but not the sovereignty of the people or the sovereign name of that place. Now that should bring clarity to most of you all. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to go over the timeline to the present. From the time that it started until now that is over, and making sense of what we've been dealing with. And I'm going to say to those who are listening to me, the war has always been on the melanated women because we were the allodial title holders of this land. That's been the Revolutionary War, all the Indian wars that were fought were the faces of the nappy head, dark skin with different kind of skin tone, copper colored women. We need to have that real clear as who the war was on. Now, the war between Britain and its colonies and its people, they fought the war on our land. And I am going on the record to say today or tonight that that war had nothing to do with us being independent. It was them that was fighting for their independence on a foreign land that they could never be sovereign on. And so therefore, we're not going to allow any more wars to be fought on our land. If you want to fight your wars, you got to go home on your own land and fight your war. We are not going to be a party to your wars and your announcements of wars in other places, because the world as we know it is gone and the earth is not going to tolerate war. And I am in agreement with Mother Nature. I'm agreeing in us coming to an end of war and a land of peace and harmony. So with that being said, I want to start with the Congressional Hall, the seat of tribal matriarch government. The Congress Hall in Philadelphia is recognized ceremonially as a reinstatement for symbolic site of governance, a peaceful location for ceremonial restoration and matriarchal acknowledgement, a historical timeline, y'all, not hers. Points of divergence between indigenous sovereignty and the unauthorized formation of the U.S. federal government and all of its remnants at Carpenter Hall, Independence Hall, Congress Hall, now known as Philadelphia. I had to do that twice. Independence Hall and Congress Hall, again, now known as Philadelphia in Philadelphia, which was the Lenni Lenape. The Lenape means the nappy head ones. Lenni Lenape. Remember the name. Certifying the formation of the U.S. federal government is now null and void prima facie, nunc pro tunc. I will say this again. I am certifying that the formation of the U.S. federal government and all its agents and agencies is null and void prima facie, nunc pro tunc. Prima facie means from its creation, and nunc pro tunc is from the beginning. Why this matters? Before 1775, the colonies relied on local militias and the British Army for major operations. And 1775 marks the moment the colonies organized themselves as a military power, even before the name United States of America was formally adopted in 1776. Before 1775, the original names for the 13 colonies was called the British colonies in America, or His Majesty's colonies. Note, each colony had its own charter and name, like Virginia, Massachusetts Bay, Pennsylvania, etc. Time period and the collective names and notes. 1607 through 1775, British colonies in America was the name. Note, there was no unified political body. 1775 to 1776, United Colonies. First official union of the colonies. 1776 to present, it is called the United States of America, name adopted in the Declaration of Independence. Now, I want to be very clear, as this timeline will unveil to you, that they never had the authority to become anything other than what they were for a time period. They never were supposed to do anything other than be the 13 colonies that were situated in 13 areas in the Indian territories of Turtle Island. The original unauthorized 13 colony names before they became unauthorized formation of states. Virginia, original name, Colony of Virginia, founded in 1607. Massachusetts, the original names, Plymouth Colony, 1620. Massachusetts Bay Colony, 1630, and they merged into Province of Massachusetts Bay, 1691. 3. New Hampshire, the original name, the Province of New Hampshire, founded in 1623. Maryland, the Province of Maryland, 1632, founded. Connecticut, original name, Connecticut Colony, founded in 1636. Rhode Island, original name, Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, founded 1636. Delaware, original name, New Sweden, 1638, later taken by Dutch English and became Delaware Colony. 8. North Carolina, original name, the Province of Carolina, 1663. They split into North and South Carolina in 1712. South Carolina, the original name, the Province of Carolina, became separate in 1712. New York, original name, the Province of New York, captured from Dutch, formerly New Netherlands, New Amsterdam, 1664. 11. New Jersey, original name, the province of New Jersey, founded in 1664. And number 12, Pennsylvania, original name, the province of Pennsylvania, founded in 1681. 13, Georgia, the original name, the province of Georgia, founded in 1732, last of the 13 colonies. Note, July the 4th, 1776, Declaration of Independence. On this date in Charlotte, North Carolina, each colony ceased being a British colony and legally transformed into sovereign states unlawfully within the new union called the United States of America. This is the birth moment of statehood. 1787 to 1959, other states were admitted. The formation timeline, 1607 to 1775, no United States, yet the colonies formed in the first following places. Again, Virginia, 1607, the first permanent English colony. The original name, the colony of Virginia, named for Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen. First permanent English settlement in North America. 1620, Massachusetts, Plymouth Colony. Original name, Plymouth Colony, founded by the English Pilgrims, separatists, later absorbed into Massachusetts Bay. 1623, New Hampshire. Original name, the province of New Hampshire, named for Hampshire, England. 1630 to 1638, expansion of New England, also known as the 1630 Massachusetts Bay Colony, founded by the Puritans. Boston becomes its capital. B, 1634, Maryland, founded as a refuge for English Catholics. C, 1636, Rhode Island, founded by Roger Williams for religious freedom. And D, 1638, New Sweden, established in present day, to this day, Delaware. 1634, English consolidation. England captures New Amsterdam from the Dutch and renames it New York. 1681, Pennsylvania. William Penn establishes Pennsylvania as a Quaker refuge. 1691, Massachusetts reorganized. Massachusetts Bay Colony merges with Plymouth and other territories to form the province of Massachusetts Bay. 1712 to 1732, Southern colonies take shape. 1712, North Carolina separates from Carolina. South Carolina was formed. 1732, Georgia formed a debtor colony and buffer against Spanish, which is known as Florida. 1754 to 1763, the French-Indian War, the French and the Indian War, which was the war against the nappy-head, melanated women who had the allodial title to the land. So they created a major conflict, and they called it between Britain and France. They was fighting over who was going to get control of us. They brought in folks that were called Native Allies, which today are known as Native American. They are not Indians. They are called Native Americans, and they're the allies to help Britain and French to fight the war against us. That reshapes the colonial boundaries and finances, which I will go over with you shortly. 1765 to 1774, the rising colonial resistance. And 1765, the Stamp Act sparks widespread protests. And in 1770, the Boston Massacre. 1774 was the first Continental Congress convened in Philadelphia at Independence Hall unauthorized. In 1775 to 1776, the transition to United Colonies happened. 1775, and this is where you need to really pay attention. The birth of the U.S. military. The United States created its first formal military forces in June of 1775 when the Second Continental Congress meeting in this present day Independence Hall, Philadelphia, established A, the Continental Army on June the 14th, 1775, B, the Continental Navy in October of 1775, and C, the Continental Marines on November the 10th, 1775. These actions unified the previously separate colonial militia into a single national military force that has been on our land, occupying our land until the present day till Trump came into office. He took control. These actions unified the previously separate colonial militia into a single national military force, marking the first moment the United States acted as a military entity. In 1775, the colonies united in armed resistance after Lexington and Concord in North Carolina. The Second Continental Congress begins referring to the collective body as United Colonies. And official documents inferred from the timeline of colonial unity and Congress formation. This is an inference based on the documented events leading to unity. The search results did not explicitly name the term United Colonies, but the unification process is well documented. In 1776, the United States, let me go back up. Yes, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence in Charlotte, North Carolina on July the 4th, the Declaration of Independence is adopted, formally asserting the colonies' independence from Britain. After this point, the term United States of America becomes the official name. In 1776, the United States of America, first official use. The name United States of America appears in the Declaration of Independence, July the 4th, 1776. This is the first formal, legal, and international use of the name. In 1781, the United States in the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation, 1781, begin with the style of this confederacy shall be the United States of America. This confirms the name as the official legal title of the new nation sitting on our nation and falls within the American Revolution, 1775 to 1783 period. 1783, international recognition. The Treaty of Paris ends the American Revolution and recognizes the United States as an independent nation on our land. (1789), the United States becomes the constitutional name. The U.S. Constitution, 1789, uses the name the United States throughout its document. Now, mind you, they are military that now is calling itself a nation on this land and calling this land the United States, and then on to the United States of America. They uses the name United States throughout its document. This solidifies the short form United States as the standard legal and governmental name. Now, in 1790, Washington, D.C. is created. Congress passed the Residence Act of 1790. This law created a new federal district on the Potomac River. Didn't say on the land, it said on the river. It was called from Maryland and Virginia, which was originally the Cherokee land. The district was named the District of Columbia. Why did they do this? The original capital was in New York City. It was temporary. The southern states demanded capital closer to them. And who is the capital? Is the people. The capital and the capital. T-A-L and T-O-L. Go look up the difference. The southern states demanded capital close to them. A political deal was struck, and the South gets the capital on the Potomac River, and the North gets the federal assumption of state war debt. I'm going to repeat that. The North gets federal assumption of state war debt. So the debt is never was ours, it was theirs. And they've had us paying their war debt in secrecy ever since they created Washington, D.C. Now, this is known as the Compromise of 1790. There was no federal compromise in 1790 that produced a territorial map like the 1820, 1850, and the 1854 compromises. Why? Because in 1790, the United States was only 14 years old. The federal government had no Western territories beyond the Appalachians. The Louisiana Purchase had not happened until 1803. There was no national debate about dividing Western land into free/slave zones. They needed people to be their slaves. And so they took us. We've been a prisoner of war since they created themselves outside of the colonies. The indigenous nations still have sovereign control over most of the continent. So Turtle Island is a continent. It is one landmass. There is no separation of islands or all. It is all one landmass. But they created a map that they could call and name their own and put their name on there, and just in name only, and patent the name and the map. But they could not patent the land. I need everybody to wake up to what I just said. They can't patent something that they don't own. So they didn't own the name and they didn't own the land, but they patent the name and the map as a assumption that the land was now called the United States of America, North America, United States, and so on, but only in name, y'all. So you've been free all along. It's just that it took us some time to figure out, to get free from our minds of the miseducation and the indoctrination that has happened to the people on the land. You're still sovereign. You always have been. It's just that the big illusion of us being part of the United States through these contracts in which the barristers created. So the barristers got together. They were colonies and they created the states. That's why you see the attorney generals of each state. Clear? All right. Now, in 1791 to 1792, the city of Washington is designed. President George Washington chose the exact location. Pierre Charles L. Infant designed the city layout, not Benjamin Banneker, as stated. The construction began. The Capitol, you see, Capitol. The President's House, later called the White House, and all those federal buildings that you see on that land that belongs to the Cherokee was created as federal buildings that are now have chain fences around them. Now here is the Missouri Compromise map of the 1820. And as you can see, this map is not correct. These states were the slave states, which they were slaves to and beholden to Britain. They could never be sovereign on this land over here. If you want to be sovereign, you got to go home and be sovereign. You cannot be sovereign on this land, barristers. I don't care how many deeds you write or whatever you been doing, you have always been the slave, not us. And so this is a map showing how they flipped and said that these states were slave states and they were free. That was to the contrary. That's not true. And so this explains the compromise of 1820. But before I do that, I want to skip down for a minute. And I want to explain this part right here. The origins of the 33rd parallel versus the 3630 line that they created here on this part right here. And you see the difference. So the origins, the 33 parallel is ancient, it's indigenous. The purpose of the ceremonial, geographic, and the cultural and the consent was through the indigenous. The longevity was thousands of years, sovereign, weight high. When they came in, the U.S. U.S. Congress in 1820 wanted to create slave states. And so they wanted to move the 33rd parallel to the 36th 30-degree parallel to regulate slavery expansion, no indigenous consent, and 34 years from 1820 to 1854. They had no sovereign weight. The conclusion that the 33rd parallel is a true sovereign line. The 30-degree line is colonial imposition. The progression of slave states created on indigenous land that was already occupied. So the 1820 Missouri Compromise and the 1850 Compromise and the 1854 Kansas and through Nebraska Act, all of that, now I can go back and tell you that all of this was repealed. You see? And they kept doing what they wanted to do until we got down here to the indigenous, where we massively was displaced, and we would continue to be displaced in the 1850 map, and then the accelerated of displacement happened in the 1854 map. Now, remind you that this line was repealed, and the U.S. Congress that we've been under the prisoner of war of them and the illusion of their madness. And everything was repealed and abolished. And then the U.S. Congress went back and continued to do the harm that we are coming out of to this day. And again, I want to, I didn't have time. And if my son, Benny Babu, if he could find it real quickly for me, that would be great. The Turtle Island map that was flipped upside down. This is the map that they showed us that they created, but the maps were flipped. And son, if you can get your hand on that real quickly for me as I finish up, that will be great. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we go down and we look at the 1854 map, the map of repeal, the map of expansion, the map of conflict. They were fighting over who was going to get us and who was going to take over. And that's what the big fight was about with them. The map ended the Missouri Compromise, the map that set the stage for the Civil War. The 1854 map is the final stage of the compromise. The 1820 creates the first federal geographic slavery boundary. In 1850, reorganizes territory, abandons geographic boundaries. In 1854, repeals the 1820 boundary entirely and triggers a national collapse. The brief analyzes each in sovereign, legal, and territorial terms. And so now you understand what the 3630 was and what the 33rd parallel was. And I will go down from the sovereign indigenous perspective. The entire compromise system is colonial, non-consensual, legal, incoherent, and territorially illegitimate, and ultimately self-destructive. So now we pick up in 1797 to 1800. The government prepares to move from Philadelphia. Philadelphia served as a temporary capital, TAL, from 1790 to 1800s, and the Congress, the president, and the federal offices gradually prepared to relocate. Number 4, 1800 to present. The federal government moves to Washington, D.C. This is the official moment the U.S. government relocated from Philadelphia, Congress Hall, to Washington, D.C. November 1800, Congress held its first session in the unfinished U.S. Capitol, the building itself. President John Adams moved into the unfinished White House. All federal departments transferred operations to the new district. From this point forward, Washington, D.C. became the permanent seat of their government, not ours. Early 1800s, the abbreviation of U.S. appears widely in government documents and newspapers. In the early 19th century, becomes the standard domestic abbreviation, U.S.A. Used in military, postal, and international contexts. Gains popularity during the War of 1812 and during the World War I. And here you see the USA without the dots between. The period-less form becomes common in the 20th century, especially during World War II, the Cold War from 1947 to 1991, and adopted heavily in branding, military markings, and international diplomacy. As you can see the map. And look at these lines woven like a DNA strand. Please take time to go pick up this map and look at it and study it, because these are the electoral voters that have been running the board of elections on our land, where we lost our voices, and these people that are electoral voters are still, until President Trump come and shut it down and drain the swamp, as he say. And let me tell you something right now. I am not for and I'm not against nothing in politics or religion. What I will tell you is I'm about what is right and what is wrong. And it doesn't matter who it takes, whether it's a Democrat, independent, or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're doing something for the right reason and doing right, it doesn't matter what you are. It's what you're doing. And a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is fluff and illusion. But I'm not going to get into that tonight. But one of the things I want to let you know is that he exposed the voters fraud ever since he's been around, for us to take a look at what I'm talking to you about tonight. I am not a voter of no Republican nor president. I'm the voter of my own government, my own voice. I don't need nobody else to speak for me. And I trust you feel the same, self-governed. That's why this will be the last government office, will be this office, because this office is turning everything back over to the people to self-govern themselves. And that will be a matriarch governance that will be present on the land. But none of what you ever have experienced in your lifetime that we will ever be under this again. Now, the 20th century, America as a cultural name, the term America becomes widely used in music, politics, and as an international identity. The Encyclopedia Britannica lists America, U.S. U.S. A. etc., and the United States of America as recognized names. By the 21st century, all names in active use, modern reference include, but not limited to, United States, which is a formal short name. United States of America is a full legal name, and the U.S. domestic abbreviation USA International and Brandon, and U.S.A formal abbreviation. Note, these names appear across all major historical, now remind you, historical periods from colonial era to modern America. This designation is ceremonial, not territorial or adversarial. So there you have it, the Great Compromise and the map and what this whole thing was about. And now, if my son is ready to share his screen, I will bring him forward so that you all can see how they flip the maps of Turtle Island. That is the real map of Turtle Island. And that is with everything inclusive. And these places they're calling Europe and all of that is on this landmass. It's all one. They've been showing us a flip map from the beginning. And the flip map showing all these sections of the world in all these sections. That is their made map. They claimed it, and they claimed that that land that they claim is Turtle Island. So therefore, the name is theirs, but the land does not belong to the name. Ashe. And son, if you want to expand on that quickly, you may go ahead.
Ashe. Ashe.
Yes, Mama. So, family, first of all, I want to give gratitude and love to Her Imperial Majesty Redbird, affectionately known as Big Mama. And I tell you, family, every time I hear Mama speak, and she talks about how our true government of the matriarch has been usurped, and his story was overlaid over top of her story, and we do our own individual research and collective research to really uncover the truth. This map right here truly personifies exactly how his story, from a patriarchal standpoint, was developed to hoodwink our mindset and take us out of our true divinity, and recognizing that the earth is all about the matriarch. And when we saw this map here, and it talked about the decolonization of Turtle Island and how they have to write their way into history and to usurp things in place, this gives you a true understanding of really what this landmass is all about and how they create their narrative with the patent office and how they have to do copywriting to draw themselves into history. But when they can't hide the history, but they make you do the research and dig into finding out exactly how things are. And this map right here really personifies exactly what's taking place, as our dear Big Mama said, and how they flipped the map. If you can see right here, this tip, which shows Florida, what's known as Florida here, how in the regular map, Florida's tip, or the peninsula, is pointing down south. But as we can see it right now, it's pointing basically east, and how they flipped the map. And what they're doing is they're disorienting us through our mindset and through our divinity to disorient us and not to be attached to the land. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is once you recognize what you're seeing, you can reattach yourself to the land. If you take your head and you just turn your head to the left a little bit, you can really see the quote United States. You can see South America. You can see Canada. You can see Greenland. You can see how everything was one landmass as Mother Gaia, as we all know. And this is what Big Mama's talking about, how they just changed their narrative to create and draw themselves into history. And once we get back into our true divinity, we recognize who we truly are, and we are the salt of the earth. We're of the DNA of the earth itself. With that said, I yield, Mama.
Thank you, son. I appreciate it. Now I want to, in our closing, I want to show you something. When you are looking at the maps of the United States, as they have named our land that, and when you start to, I'm gonna find the right one. I think I can find the right one. If I can't, I want you all to do some your research on when you pull these maps up and you see it, you start to zoom out of them, these names disappear. So they're not really on the map when you start to move your cursor and come out of it. And so, like, I want to show you this map here. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, son, was there anything else that was attached to that when we was doing our research that you need to show any further on that? You know, when we was looking, we found a lot of things, and it's a couple of things that we wanted to bring out about that that area when we was looking at that map. If you could bring it back up for me, please. I trust that everybody is got an eye opener tonight and an ear for, so that you can recognize the trick that has been laid upon us. Is anything else beyond that because it's been a minute since you and I went through this, when the other stuff that was attached to it. Maybe we can have a session, you know, at a later date where we really go into these maps to show certain things. So thank you for finding that, because I had not had time to pull that up. And if you would, to resend that whole thing to me, because I need to add it into the notice when time come, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so in my closing, I would like to show you all one more thing that I'm talking about. Here's a map. As you can see, they've outlined this map. And like you said, this part is turned up, okay? And so they flip the map. So that's one thing about this map. But as you can see, they've created all these other land masses called Russia. Now, mind you, these are their names. They own the name, but they don't own the land. And this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. So when you look at this map, you can see that it's really just a repeat. And they're showing like these things are separate and all this other land is separate. But that's not true. It's all connected to as one. And that when you start to zoom in, now watch it. It disappears. The names disappear. And it's just showing the land itself. You see. So that goes to show you it's an illusion. And with that, I yield. And I close tonight with give me a minute. We come from the set of down faithfully. We know the truth. All the power. We are standing in the light. We know the truth, so therefore we are standing in the light. We can be who we are and never be silent again. We be free to be who we always been as Indians. Let's all celebrate the knowing and never be bound by the invisible chains that once enslaved us. We be free, yeah, let's all celebrate the knowing. We be free and never be bound by the invisible chains that once enslaved us. We know the truth. We know the truth. So therefore, we are standing in the light. We can be who we are and never be silent again. We can be free to be who we always been as Indians. We be free, we be free, we be free. Let's all celebrate the knowing and never be bound by the invisible chains that once. All right. I believe I'll start that over because I think I hit it. If y'all don't mind, I'm quite sure. Let's do it again. All right, y'all. We're gonna be We know the truth. All the power. We are standing in the light. ashe, ashe, ashe. As we close for a moment, pause. I need you to pause for a minute and go back and look at what happened and how it happened illegitimately, unauthorized. These colonies just took over everything and caused us to a matriarch system. It started in Philadelphia. And we're going this weekend to end it. To say our government is standing right here and no longer can you pretend like we don't exist. We have been here before anyone existed. The allodial title that I hold as the allodial title for and on behalf of all the matriarchs on this land. Dates, May the 1st, 1540. There's no way that you could have predated us. So therefore, we must go back to the place where you created this unjust war against us, the unjust education that you crammed down our throat, the unjust birth certificates, the unjust death certificates, the unjust war that you wage against us, that we're coming in peace. But don't think we don't have backup, because we got spiritual backup. Something that your guns and your poison can't get next to. You can't get rid of us. Our DNA have been here from the beginning of time. It will always rule forevermore. So this weekend, mothers, let this represent as Her Majesty go and proclaim the ceremony and take homage to the Lenape women, because they were the first to leave, that they drowned it out down at Penn Treaty Park. There is a whole village of matriarchs and their children down there under the water that man called Tammuz, or Tamiz, or whatever his name is. If you look at the picture is worth 1,000 words for that man to be standing on the back of a turtle. Signified that he came in and wiped us out and went to Carpenter's Hall. Those Freemasons that met there, oh yeah, I know all about it. The ancestors revealed everything to me. And so I'm going to make my round to every person, every organization that ever came through there, that created an alignment and aligned themselves to go down and wage war against all the women that were the allodial title holders to this land. Well, I've got the allodial title that predates you. You can't create anything earlier than me. So therefore, we are the rightful heirs to this land, and we intend to take our rightful places and govern ourselves as a matriarch system, because after all, the matriarch system is a loving and kind. It doesn't wage war. It has love in its heart. And just because we have that, don't take that for our weakness, because that is our strength. And so therefore, our ancestors, the DNA, the blood that's running on this land, that's going to protect us as we make this peaceful transition, that you should never exist. The Liberty Bell will never ring because we could never coexist with one another. So that bell that's got that crack in there for a reason, people, that bell will never ring because the bell ringing means that we consent to exist with them. We do not consent to exist with you. So therefore, the Liberty Bell will stay cracked. And we will ring a new bell and bring in a new liberty. The liberty that is just and a liberty that is at peace with all people, all cultures, and that we self-govern. We don't need your patriarch. And that grandfather clause, you could not ever clause us back in because you came from a woman. So therefore, that grandfather clause that says, that gave the men the privilege and the right is two different things. Our blood right stands as truth. And as we make this transition, we truly trust that you step to the side. Because if you don't, our ancestors, our matriarch ancestors, they will come. The galactics will take care of those who continue to think you're going to stand in our way. I'm expecting to see President Trump. If you hear me, I'm expecting you to make your round to give me the keys. I'm expecting the Treasury to come and open up those books. I'm expecting a visit from you. And I'm looking for it to be real soon because we got plenty work to do. And we're ready to get started. We are here, we're aligned, and we are proclaiming that the matriarch government is ready to receive its government and rule over our land and rule over our children and our people. And I am a sovereign matriarch with the blood right that's calling everything to order, divine order, by natural law and by the laws in which we live and govern ourselves by. You broke the law, we didn't. So therefore, your sentence is death, the death of your government, so that our government can rise and live. And with that, I bid all of you all a restful night, and I'll see you in Philadelphia this weekend. Love and light, everyone.
Ashe, Big Mama, Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe,
Love and light.
gratitude, gratitude.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Love and light YouTube. Stopping the live.